Well, it seems that I have a lot of explaining to do, don't I? Okay, to put it as bluntly as possible, yes, both Black Penguin and the video game have unfortunately been cancelled. Now before you all start going crazy, let me simply explain the reasoning behind why we had to cancel the episodes. For one, we were all having a few setbacks after the creation of Psycho Penguin. One of these setbacks was a voice actor and a few staff had gotten sick for a couple of days, and because of such, work had to be slowed down a bit. Secondly, and this is the main meat of it all, the episodes themselves were ultimately cancelled not by any of us, but by the executives and the higher-ups of the studio. Now, I wasn't there for the whole thing, but from what a few animators have told me, the episodes themselves were considered, and I quote, garbage by most of the higher-ups. This was a bit of a punch to the gut, but thankfully there weren't any kind of consequences for the setbacks, or the episodes for that matter. On another topic, there's actually going to be a major change coming to the show, and no, I'm not talking about the new kid that's coming to be joining the group. After some time really thinking about the show, and viewing the current episodes that we've been producing during these long, hard months, we've all noticed something that seems to be rather bad. The show itself seems to rely more on comedy and slapstick than what is originally meant for the show. Sure, it's fine to have some comedic moments, or even episodes for that matter, every so often. However, this isn't what the show itself was supposed to be about. So, after some time and effort, the change has been made. You know how I said that the show was going to delve into some darker topics? Well, starting after the Backyardigans Get Loud, the show itself is going to start toning down a bit on the comedy and start providing more to the table and provide what I would call more of a lore. Something to give each and every character more development, show their flaws, and show conflicts that need to be solved, not just on an internal level but also an external level as well. With this new concept, each and every one of the main cast will be given a few episodes at a time to focus on each one of their personal issues, whether they be manifested in their backyard adventures, or at school, or even at home. Each season that we'll produce will focus on a theme of each character. Austin is going to be the main theme for Season 1, and continuing to go down that line as each season is released. From what the writers have told me, Season 2 is going to focus on Pablo, Season 3 is going to focus on Tasha, Season 4 on Uniqua, and Season 5 on Tyrone. We're not 100% sure on a Season 6 though. We might consider adding it, provided that, however, the new kid is taken properly. Now, the specific issues that each character will have is still being debated on, with the exception of Austin that is, although I won't spoil that for any of you. Now that that's all pretty much been taken care of, allow me to explain what's going to happen with this newest episode. As you should all know by now, the show The Backyardigans Backyard Adventures has been planning on a crossover episode with the now famous TV show Paw Patrol for quite some time now. For those of you who don't really know, or for that matter care about the show, allow me to give a brief summary of what it is. The show Paw Patrol is a show about a group of puppies by the names of Chase, Rubble, Sky, Zuma, Rocky, Marshall, Everest, and Tracker, who all go on rescue missions with their 10-year-old leader Ryder, oftentimes having to stop a situation, whether it be completely ridiculous or actually serious, that would involve a few, or all of the pups to go and save said person who needs help. Alongside the main 9 characters of the show, there's also Mayor Goodway, Mayor Humdinger, the main antagonist, quote-unquote, if you really want to call him that, Captain Turbot, Katie, and many others. Now, with the show, I'll be frank. The show is honestly not my cup of tea, and to the other animators and producer of the show, they would honestly agree. However, we've all had to watch at least a few episodes of the show Paw Patrol to get the main gist of everything, as well as knowing the main characteristics of the main cast as well, so that we don't mess anything up. Now, whether it be for the better or worse, all the animators and writers had to work side by side with the actual Paw Patrol team. This, of course, was rather, messy to say the least, given the fact that our show is more centered around preteens and teenagers, as well as the fact that Paw Patrol was aimed a lot more at a toddler/preschool demographic. This caused some arguments and bickering to start up almost immediately during the writing process. This is especially true if you want to consider, well, not just the writers, but the animators and everybody else as well. I can't tell you how many hours were wasted with the writers fighting amongst each other on the concept of a freaking plot device for the episode. It got so bad to the point where the executive producers stepped in and told the Paw Patrol group that this was our show and that we had set our boundaries and that they were to be respected. However, we also got a fair share of scolding as well. We were also told that if we wanted to work together in this project that we needed to hear the other team out as well. So after a few hours of blowing off steam in the break room, both our and the other writing staff teams came to an agreement. The Paw Patrol group would allow us to write the episode in any way that we particularly wished, and we could keep our PG rating as well for the episode, with one major exception. No changing the characters' personalities or traits to fit the series, as they didn't want the Paw Patrol group to go from a bunch of cute innocent puppies to a mess of psychotic, violent, and foul-mouthed pups. We ultimately agreed on this, and the episode itself was made in due time. The voices were recorded, the animation was done, and all that other jazz. We even had some free reign to do and since we had free reign to do as we wish, and the other group got to keep the other pups' images as well, everybody ultimately won in the end. Now, enough about that. Let's get into this episode, as it'll be rather long, like with Psycho Penguin. The episode itself starts off with the first 30 seconds of the intro, before Pablo, when he starts singing his "In the Place Where We Belong" part, gets hit with a blast of a fire hose, sending him flying off screen. As the others looked at where Pablo was blasted at with a surprised look on their face, the scene then flashes over to the main Paw Patrol intro, which lasts at least a few seconds, before Pablo and the others, quite literally, start shoving the scene away. The Backyardigans then continue with their song before the Paw Patrol group jump in and down on their screen, smushing it in the process. This continues on and on before both the Paw Patrol intro background and the Backyardigans backyard background are morphed together in a rather unpleasant-looking kind of way. The main cast of both shows look at each other with a rather angry glare before walking off screen for a few seconds, only to come back with the pups diving towards the Backyardigans with their pup-mobiles at a high speed, while the Backyardigans all jumped up in the air with various melee weapons. A bat for Pablo, a rake for Tasha, a few bowling pins for Uniqua, a water gun for Tyrone, and for Austin, well, his powers. Glowing purple fireballs, to be specific. They all let out a battle cry of some sort before the intro suddenly cut to black. After a few seconds of this, the episode faded into the main title card of the episode. It showed the same merged background from the intro, but a bit more stable than usual, with the Backyardigans being dragged into the pup tower by either their clothes or by their tails. All the Backyardigans seem to have a rather confused or just downright bored expression on their faces. The pups, however, look about as happy could be as they drag them across the grass and into the tower. Above the characters, written in bubbly font, was the main title of the episode, Pups Save the Backyardigans, with the Paw Patrol title sequence playing during the duration of said title card. Once the title card ends, the scene then faded to white and the episode began. The episode started off with 3 sets of cars driving down a long road that's connected to a lot of buildings, specifically apartment complexes and stores of various sizes and shapes. The cars are following each other, some even driving a bit faster than usual to try and catch up with the others. After a few seconds of showing their cars, the scene pans to one of them, a blue one, showing Pablo's mother, his father, and Pablo himself sitting in the car, listening to some kind of jazz music. Pablo seems to be a bit bummed out for some reason. It seems that even his mother seems to notice this, and proceeds to stare up into the rearview mirror and ask, "Pablo, sweetie, is there something the matter?" Pablo looks up at his mother, not wiping that bummed-out look on his face. "Well, kinda," Pablo says timidly. "What is it, kiddo?" Pablo's father asked. "Why are we going over to Tyrone's aunt's house anyway?" Pablo says. "Tyrone's mother thinks that it would be nice for you guys to get out a bit more. Go and explore the town, except for being stuck in a small backyard all the time," Pablo's mother responds back with. "Still, though, well, I guess it's not going to be that bad. I get to hang out with my friends, at least," Pablo said as a small smile formed on his beak. "That's very true, Pablo. And hey, it'll be fun for all of you guys," Pablo's father replies as he reaches over and rubs the top of Pablo's head, ruffling his feathers in the process. A few seconds of silence pass before Pablo's smile fades once again. "Mom? Dad?" Pablo says in a disconcerting voice. Yes, son? Pablo's father and mother respond back. You guys are getting back together, right? Pablo says timidly. Father and mother drop instantly, and worried and... Sweetie, Pablo's mothers begin. Well, there are some things that are going on at the moment that Daddy and I really need to figure out. Oh, okay, Pablo says sadly. But don't you worry, Pablo, Pablo's father interjects. Just know that Mom and I love you very much, and that'll never change. I promise. Pablo looks up at his father and gives a warm smile. Thanks, Dad, Pablo says. No problem, kiddo. No problem. Pablo's father responds back. The scene then pans out to the back of the other cars, and then focuses itself towards a pink car. After a second or two, the camera pans into the vehicle, revealing... Tasha said as she slammed her phone under the seat of the car. What? Responded. Why do you need a caller, anyway? We're almost at the apartments anyway, Uniqua said. Well, it'd be a little nice of her to at least pick up the phone so we could talk for a little bit, Tasha said as she slumped down in her seat. But don't you talk with your mom a lot at home? Besides, she's probably busy with work and can't really answer the phone right now, Uniqua said. That's the problem. She's always too busy, Tasha grunted. What was that, Tasha? Uniqua asked. Nothing. It's nothing, Tasha said, muttering once more. Oh, okay then. You know, now that I think about it, I wonder what Austin and Tyrone's car ride's going along, Uniqua asked. Probably really boring like this one, Tasha responded back. Just as a way of answering their question, the camera panned over towards the right, showing Austin, his father, his mother, as well as Tyrone jamming out and headbanging to, I shit you not, death metal. I'm not exactly too sure what band it was, or if it was just from the studio itself, but damn was it good. No words are really exchanged between any of the characters. I mean, it wasn't really necessary, with probably the sole exception of the lyrics and the music being mouthed by everybody. It was actually pretty funny to find out that Austin and his parents were metalheads. The scene went on for some time before the camera cut back to all the cars pulling up into a driveway of an apartment complex. Upon pulling in, all the Backyardigans pull open the doors to their cars and hop out. You kids have fun now, Pablo's mother calls out. We'll be back to pick you up in about 8 hours. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call us, okay? With that, the parents immediately pull out of the driveway and drive off. Just like that. The Backyardigans proceed to walk to the door of the apartment, wondering to themselves what was going to happen next. That is until the scene cut to a giant clock with the words 10 minutes later popping up. After that, the scene then cuts back again with Austin, Pablo, Tasha, and Uniqua sitting on the concrete stairs in front of a large door of what appeared to be the large apartment complex area. The sounds of chirping birds and other animals could be heard in the background as the camera panned over towards the young animal children. Pablo, Tasha, Austin, and Uniqua are just sitting there, boredom written on each of their faces. There was a little bit of silence from the others before Pablo let out a loud sigh. The others looked over at Pablo, their faces not breaking from their bored expressions. Bored, Pablo? Tasha asked. Yeah, Pablo groaned. Can someone explain to me why in the world our parents thought it would be a good idea to come here in the first place? Uniqua complained. Because Tyrone managed to convince them that we needed a change of pace from the usual backyard that we all hang out, Pablo began. Not only that, but our parents were all going to go out for the day at some casino of some sort. And because of the fact that we're all too young to go over there, we have to be babysat by Tyrone's aunt. The words babysat caused Pablo to spit on the ground in utter disgust. Why do we even need to be babysat in the first place? Tasha began. It's not like any of us are toddlers anymore. Heck, Austin's only 7 years old and he's smarter than any of us. He could easily watch over us if he wanted to. And if anything bad were to happen, he can just sit there and shoot them with his, fireballs or whatever it is. True that, Pablo said. I think what I hate most about this is the fact that there isn't even a backyard for us to play in, Tasha moped. Yeah, I know. It's just concrete, cars, and garbage all over the place, Uniqua said. As they were all talking amongst each other, the main doors that they were all sitting next to opened up. Then out popped Tyrone, who had a wide grin on his face. He looked at the others, to which the camera cut to their bored and slightly pissed off looks. "Come on, guys, it's not that bad," Tyrone said, closing the door. "Not that bad," Austin began. "We're sitting out here bored as ever for the past hour or so since we first got here. Also, there's no backyard for any of us to play in. Do you know how long it's been since we've all went on an adventure in our backyard?" Pablo said. 3 episodes?" Tyrone responded back. Pablo scratched his chin. "I have no idea, but yeah, it's been a long time." "So what are we going to do anyway?" Austin began. "Well, my aunt did tell me that there's a nice little town just a few blocks from the apartment building," Tyrone said. "And what place is that?" Pablo asked. "Adventure Bay," Tyrone said. Tasha, Uniqua, Pablo, and Austin all scratched their chins and thought for a moment before finally Austin spoke up. "Well, I guess that sounds fine enough. I mean, it does have adventure in the title," Austin said, smiling. "I'm down for pretty much anything at this point," Tasha said, wiping her head from the sweat that was coming down from her forehead. "Same here," Uniqua replied back. "Pablo, are you coming too?" Tyrone asked the blue avian. "I guess so, but why does that place sound so familiar?" "I don't know why, but I think I've heard about that somewhere," Pablo said. "Okay then, well, off we go," Tyrone called out. With that, the Backyardigans all got up and made their way towards the right side of the sidewalk. The scene then faded to black for a few seconds before the episode cut right back to the Backyardigans arriving at Adventure Bay. "Well, that didn't take too long," Tasha said. "Yeah, I know, I thought it would be longer than that," Pablo said. They all continued to walk in the direction that they were going in, and while they did, they passed by a few people. Yes, they were all human. All the people that they walked by all stopped dead in their tracks and began staring at the animals' children with a mixture of both shock and awe. This prompted the others to look back at the other people with uncomfortable looks. Suddenly, Pablo leaned into Austin and asked, "Why are these people staring at us?" "It's not that often, Pablo, that you see walking, talking animals walking down the sidewalk," Austin said. "Good point, but at least they aren't trying to experiment on us or anything, right?" Pablo said, nudging Austin's shoulder. The camera focused in on one of Austin's eyes, and then faded to a black and white flashback. The flashback showed some of the events that had happened in the previous episode, Psycho Penguin, specifically Pablo getting kidnapped, Pablo exploding the freaking, government base, and more importantly, the battle that the two of them had to go through, for at least a few seconds before zooming back out and back to Austin's face. Yeah, Austin said. "Dude, are you alright? Why'd you get that weird-out face when I made that joke?" Pablo asked, a hint of concern in his voice. "Oh, it's nothing, Pablo. It's nothing," Austin said, whispering the last 2 words. "I don't know about you, Tyrone, but I'm not seeing anything that exciting so far," Tasha said. "You know, it's actually very different the last time I came here," Tyrone began. "I certainly don't remember this place being as bubbly as it is now. In fact, it's kind of creeping me out a little bit." "How long has it been since you've last seen your aunt?" Uniqua asked. "About 5 years," Tyrone said. "Oh," Uniqua replied back. "I'm still wondering what we're going to do." Tasha was soon interrupted by a very joyful sound. Everyone there turned their heads to see who had made that noise. Then, in almost an instant, the camera cut to reveal the smiling woman that was Mayor Goodway herself. Well, I see that we have some little stars coming to visit our little town," Mayor Goodway said, clapping her hands together. Who are you?" Pablo asked. "Oh, where are my manners?" Mayor Goodway said, snapping her fingers in frustration. "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mayor Goodway. I'm the mayor of this wonderful little town that you see today." "Well, it's nice to meet you, Mayor Goodway. I'm Tasha, and these are my friends." "Oh, you don't need to introduce them to me, Tasha, sweetie," Mayor Goodway chuckled. "I and many others here in this town already know who you all are." The Backyardigans all took a step back, obviously unnerved over that little fact. You do?" Austin said shyly. Of course, everyone in this town is a huge fan of your show, Mayor Goodway said. Really? Pablo said, cocking his head. Oh yes, Pablo, Mayor Goodway said with a cheer. Pablo flinched a bit. From what I could tell, he seemed to still be a bit taken aback from being told that everyone in the town that he had just entered in just a few moments ago already knew about him and his friends. Would you all like a tour of the town? I'm sure everyone would love to meet you. The scene then transitioned to the other backyardigans talking amongst themselves in a quiet whisper. Are you sure we should go with that lady? Tasha whispered. Come on, guys, let's not be rude. She's offering to give us a tour of the town. The very least that we could do is go. Tyrone, don't you remember what our parents told us? Don't talk to strangers, much less go with them anywhere, Uniqua said. My aunt knows everyone in this town, Uniqua, Tyrone began. Nothing bad's going to happen to us. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a bit weirded out that this entire town seems to know who we are, Pablo muttered. Pablo, we've been on television for almost 4 years now, not including this series that we're on right now. Everyone who is anyone already knows about us. You should know that by now. Okay, you have a good point, but... Tasha began. Look, guys, if anything bad happens, I'll just teleport us back into the apartment, okay? Austin said. How are you going to do that? Pablo asked. Austin's face fell flat as he lifted up his now glowing purple hand as if to trying to explain to Pablo what he wanted to know. Oh, I get it now, Pablo asked, confused. Alright, let's see here. I guess we can just go, Austin said, turning around to face Mayor Goodway, to which the others followed suit. Okay, we'll go with you, Austin said with a wide grin. Oh, yay! Mayor Goodway said with a slight jump of joy. It's such an honor to show you guys our little town. Just as Mayor Goodway had finished the scene of abject glee, her pet chicken, Chicolita, popped out of her purse, which caused all the backyardigans to jump. Whoa! Pablo said, jumping back in fright. What the heck is that thing? Tasha said. Should I kill it? Austin said, forming a small purple fireball in his hand. Oh, no, no. Mayor Goodway said as she held her pet in her hand. This is my pet, Chicolita. Oh, sorry about that, Austin said, snuffing out the fireball in his hand. Oh, it's perfectly fine. I tend to get reactions like this all the... Wait, was that a fireball in your hand? Mayor Goodway questioned. No, Austin lied. Oh, well, okay then. On with the tour, Mayor Goodway announced in a rather overly dramatic way. As the mayor began walking down the street, pointing out various items and other buildings to the young animal children, Austin and Pablo began whispering to each other. You know, Pablo, I don't mean to be rude, but that mayor really isn't that bright, Austin began. Why is that? Pablo questioned. Well, for one, she completely ignored the fact that I had a freaking fireball just randomly pop up in my hands. And secondly, she actually believed me when I said that it was nothing, Austin said. Well, maybe she did see something and she just doesn't want to say anything about it, Pablo said back. Good point, but still though, I have a weird feeling about this place, Pablo, Austin whispered. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Austin, I think Mayor Goodway is the only issue we're going to have. I mean, it's not like anyone has some kind of crazy vendetta against us or something here. After Pablo had finished his sentence, the camera panned over to a traffic light with a bird perched on top of it. The camera then zoomed into the bird's face, revealing a lens zooming out of one of the bird's eyes. The scene then cut to a large set of monitors with the backyardigans on each one of them. There are about 6 monitors in total. The camera then panned out, and the laugh of Mayor Humdinger could be heard during the transition. Yes! After all these years, I finally get my hands on those backyardigan characters and make them my slaves, Mayor Humdinger said with a cliché evil laugh. Right in the middle of his laugh, there was a loud knock at the door of what I assumed must have been Mayor Humdinger's office. After a few seconds, the door opened up, and a teenage-looking kid with a black ponytail, blue eyes, and a suit and tie walked in. Okay, Mayor Humdinger, I got your... The young teen's eyes began to water as he quickly placed the coffees on his table in the office. Oh my God, Mayor Humdinger! Oh man, why does it smell like rotten sulfur in here? The teen screamed as he grasped his nose, trying to prevent the scent from permeating his nostrils anymore. Oh, quit being overdramatic, Trevor. It doesn't smell that bad, Mayor Humdinger retorted. Not that bad? Are you on some new medication or something, Mayor? This place smells like the inside of a doghouse. Ugh, Trevor said, gagging. How long has it been since you showered? Does this answer your question? Mayor Humdinger then got off from his seat and close up, and very well detailed drawing of the mayor's suit covered in various stains, slop, and dare I even say it, rotten food of all kind. A man's screaming effect could be played over the image. The camera then cut back to Trevor, who immediately started gagging and soon ran over towards the window and proceeded to vomit, off screen, out of it. I really smell that bad, Mayor Humdinger said. Yeah, you do, Trevor yelled. Oh, well, it's not important right now. Come over here. I need you to see something, Mayor Humdinger demanded. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, Trevor said. Do you want to get fired? Humdinger said. Ugh, fine. But you better have a freaking gas mask over there, Trevor shouted. Fine. Here you, big baby, Humdinger replied as he threw a gas mask over to where Trevor was at, to which Trevor immediately put it on his head. Now get over here. I have something I want to show you, Mayor Humdinger said with a rather menacing grin on his face. Trevor carefully walked towards a desk that contained the monitor screens and took a close look at them. What am I supposed to be looking at, sir? Trevor asked. Who do you see down there? Mayor Humdinger asked. Are those a bunch of walking, talking animals? Trevor questioned. Yes, they are. Those are the Backyardigans, Mayor Humdinger said, his face curling into a devious grin. Huh, my daughter used to watch them when she was around 4, but wait a second. Are you stalking them? Trevor said. I'm not stalking them, darn it, Mayor Humdinger snapped. I'm plotting my revenge. Trevor immediately spun over to the mayor, who was now cackling like a madman. Wait, what? Trevor asked. Why are you wanting revenge on a bunch of preteen kids? What the heck did they ever do to you? Everything. They did everything to me. Their songs, their fame, their power, their, animal-like characteristics, Mayor Humdinger said. So, let me get this straight, Trevor said. You've installed a bunch of monitors in your office just for this purpose. You haven't bathed in what seemed like weeks. Your office is a pigsty, and you want, revenge over the fact that you don't really seem to like their show? Well, yeah, Mayor Humdinger responded in a rather embarrassed tone. You know what, I'm gonna go now, Trevor said, walking to the exit. Upon exiting the office and closing the door shut, Trevor facepalmed and said, I hate my job so much right now. The scene then transitioned back to the town of Adventure Bay, with the Backyardigans all walking next to Mayor Goodway towards the main Pup Tower. Tasha, Uniqua, Tyrone, and Pablo all seem to be doing fine, while Austin just looks like he's seen something rather vile. I hope you all enjoyed our little art exhibit that we all made for you, Mayor Goodway said with a smile. It was actually really nice, Miss Goodway, Pablo said. Although I do have to admit, it seems like a lot of people here really like Austin. Really? How so? Mayor Goodway asked. Well, for one, there was more artwork made for him than any of us, Pablo began. And another thing, why is it that you wouldn't let us see the rest of the art gallery? Oh, well, you see, Pablo, let's just say that specific section of the art gallery is a bit more, how do I put it, adult. Mayor Goodway responded back, although with much hesitation. You couldn't have said that before, Austin whimpered. Dude, what's wrong with you? Tyrone asked, concerned. Let's just say that I saw pictures of me that is a bit private, Austin muttered as his face and ears turned red. How's that? Tasha interjected. Is it you without your shirt? Uniqua butted in. Austin's eyes grew wide as he started to gag. More than that, Austin cringed. I see, Uniqua said. Uniqua then ran up to Goodway and then asked in a quiet voice, Where can I get some of those paintings? Mayor Goodway just chuckled, and then the scene panned over towards a dock, with Captain Turbot loading up some fishing gear in one of his boats that was docked near near the ocean. Well, that should cover everything. I have enough bait for those biting basses, Captain Turbot said, wiping the dirt off of his hands. Yoo-hoo! Captain Turbot! Mayor Goodway called out. It's the mayor. I wonder what she's doing today, Turbot said, walking over towards Mayor Goodway. The scene then panned over to show Captain Turbot walking down towards one another with the Backyardigans following suit. They soon meet each other, and Mayor Goodway and Captain Turbot give each other a hug. Well, it's good to see you today, Miss Goodway, Captain Turbot said. Same here. How's the fishing trip going along? Mayor Goodway said. Oh, it's just fine, just preparing my precise periscope for my boat, Captain Turbot responded back. The scene then cut to show Pablo turning towards Tyrone and whispering, Why is this guy talking like that? Not sure, but play it cool, Tyrone responded back. Oh, now who are you, little fella? Captain Turbot said, looking over at Pablo. Pablo, as a response, backed away slowly. As he does this, Captain Turbot immediately pulled out a bucket of dead fish and tossed it towards Pablo. As he does this, the scene cuts back to show Pablo with a beak full of dead fish. Pablo grunts a bit before spitting the fish out of his mouth and began coughing hysterically. Huh, I've never seen a plump, passive penguin not like fish before, Captain Turbot said. That's because I don't eat fish, Pablo said in between gags and coughs. Captain Turbot immediately recoiled in shock after hearing Pablo speak, but soon regained composure rather quickly. Oh, my goodness! My sincerest apologies there, Pablo. I guess I didn't recognize you when I saw you. Wait, how do you know my... Pablo responded back before stopping dead in his tracks. Oh, wait, I remember now, Pablo finally said. Honestly, though, the rest of the scene itself really wasn't that exciting, mostly just unnecessary filler, which I made sure to write down on my pen and pad, so I'll just cut back to the main part where they start going towards the Pup Tower. Well, that was a nice trip, wasn't it? Mayor Goodway asked as she and the other Backyardigans continued walking down the street towards the Pup Tower. It was okay, I guess. Nothing really that interesting, to be honest, Tyrone said. Meh, it was okay, I guess, Tasha replied. I still have the taste of fish stuck in my mouth, Pablo said, spitting on the ground again in disgust. They continued to walk down until they finally reached the Pup Tower. Once there, the camera zooms in to show all of the pups, with the exception of Tracker and Marshall, all playing with a few dog toys outside. Heads up, Rubble, Chase said as he threw the ball that was in his mouth across the yard in the Pup Tower. I got it! Rubble called out as he ran as fast as he could go and get the ball. While trying to catch it, Rubble wound up slipping into a puddle of mud, which caused him to slip and slide and then crash into a bush. The scene then rushed back to the other pups, who immediately stopped what they're doing and run up to where Rubble had fallen. Whoa, hey Rubble, are you okay? Chase called out. Rubble immediately popped his head out of the bush, spitting out a few twigs and leaves in the process. I'm fine, guys. I just landed on... Rubble stopped talking and proceeded to stare off into the distance. What? What is it, Rubble? Do you have a concussion? Sky asked as she jumped over towards the bush. Guys, is that who I think it is? Rubble said as his eyes grew wide as saucers. The other pups take a look at where Rubble was looking at, and their eyes proceeded to widen as well. The camera then panned over to reveal the Mayor Goodway and the other Backyardigans walking towards the Pup Tower. Oh? Chase began. My? Rubble continued. Gosh? Sky yipped, barely able to contain herself. It's the Backyardigans! Sky yelled out, jumping and twirling around like crazy. Okay, everybody, we need to act calm now. I know it's exciting to meet our idols, but at the very least we could... Chase was cut short, with the other pups immediately lunging their way towards the small animal children, in the process crushing Chase in the process of it. While running, Everett started running towards the Pup Tower, possibly to go and get Marshall and Tracker. And here we have the Pup Tower, Mayor Goodway said. Wow, that is a big tower, Uniqua said. Yeah, it is. So where does it exactly go? So what exactly goes on here anyway? Tyrone asked. Well, there's a group of rescue puppies here by the name of the Paw Patrol. These pups go and help us whenever we may need them, Mayor Goodway said. Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol. Why does that sound so familiar? Huh, Pablo began. You know, I wonder if they're here. As if on cue to answer his question, the scene immediately panned over to show Chase, Zuma, Rocky, Everest, Sky, and Rubble rushing towards the Backyardigans at full speed. Rubble was the first one to tackle Tyrone to the ground and start licking his face rapidly. The other pups then proceeded to show up as well, introducing themselves to the Backyardigan with huge smiles on their faces, and even at times tackling a few of them. The Backyardigans then proceed to kind of freak out a little bit, but then they calm themselves down and introduce themselves to the pups as well. "Oh, we already know who you guys are," Chase said. "How do you—" "Never mind," Tasha said. "Well, my little friends, I do need to get going now. I have to give Chicolita and that giant gold statue of her a nice washdown," Mayor Goodway began. "I trust that you'll be in good hands here with the pups," Mayor Goodway said, looking at the pups. "Yes, ma'am," the pups called out. Mayor Goodway waved goodbye before making her way off screen. The scene then panned it over towards the Backyardigans, who now had completely confused looks on their faces. Did I just hear her correctly?" Tasha asked the others. "Hear about what?" Chase asked. "You know, about that giant gold statue that the mayor was talking about," Tasha said. "Oh, yeah, that," Chase said, face-palming. "Mayor Goodway had that statue made of her pet chicken Chicolita not too long back. It's even made of solid gold, too. Didn't you guys get to see it?" Chase asked. Tasha and the others looked at each other for a moment before turning back to face the pups and nodding. "Not really," Tasha said. "Oh, well, that's too bad. It's really big. Hey, maybe later on today I can show you guys," Chase said. "Come on, you guys, let's give our idols a nice Paw Patrol welcome," Sky said as she jumped all around in her hyper way. All the pups then cheered before walking back towards the pup tower, the Backyardigans following them in the process. The next scene transitioned over to show the Backyardigans and the other pups, including Marshall and Tracker, walking into the main living area of the pup tower. "You know, I forgot to ask you guys. Why are you all here at Adventure Bay anyway?" Rubble asked. "Well, originally we were going to have some fun in our backyard for the day," Austin began, as he glared at Tyrone, who in turn blushed a bit. "But instead, we went over to visit Tyrone's aunt for the day," Austin said, finishing his sentence. "Wow, well, it's great to have you guys here. Oh, did you guys get to see the art exhibit that was made for you guys?" Rubble asked. This question, as a result, made Austin's face turn green. The others, including his friends, looked at him with a worried look on their faces. Austin, are you okay?" Pablo asked. "Is there a bathroom anywhere?" Austin said, on the verge of throwing up. "It's right over there," Chase said, pointing towards a large restroom door. "Thanks," Austin whispered before running at light speed into the bathroom. The faint sound of Austin puking his guts out could be heard in the background, with the scene panning over to a few of the pups, as well as the other Backyardigans, looking at the place where Austin was at. What's wrong with him?" Rocky asked. "I have no idea. He wasn't feeling bad when we all made our way here," Pablo said. "Wait, Pablo, didn't he have that weirded out look after he left the art museum?" Tasha asked. "Yeah, now that I think about it, he did have that kind of freaked out look at them after visiting the museum," Tyrone interjected. "Wait a minute," Tracker called out. "How far did you guys go into the art museum?" "Not that far, to be honest. Why?" Uniqua said. All the pups looked at each other with a "he saw it, didn't he?" kind of look. "Yeah, he might have wandered off a bit too far in there," Everest said. "What? He did? Oh, what did he see?" "You don't want to know," Chase said, blushing. A few seconds later, there was a flushing sound coming from off-screen, with Austin walking out of the bathroom door. "Feeling better, Austin?" Chase asked. "A lot better," Austin responded back. After that little bit of awkward dialogue, the pups' badges started to glow. "Ryder needs us!" the pups yelled. All the pups immediately start running towards the tower elevator, bringing along the Backyardigans with them, even dragging Austin by his tail in one scene. Once they were all in the elevator together, Marshall himself was obviously started running towards there before slipping on one of the dog toys and crashing into everyone, sending them all flying. It was actually kind of funny this time around, although it usually wasn't that funny. The elevator ride goes on like usual, and then they all jump up towards where Ryder was standing at and got into their usual position. "Ready for action, Riders, sir," Chase said as per usual. "It's a good thing you pups are here. Today we have..." Ryder immediately stopped talking and turned towards the elevator, as a series of groans could be heard from the interior of it. Then, one by one, each of the Backyardigans stepped out of the elevator, with various articles of clothing and such all over them. Heck, even Pablo had a giant boot stuck on his beak. "Oops, I guess I didn't think that one through, did I?" Marshall muttered. Chase, who are these guys?" Ryder asked. Well, Ryder, sir, these are our new friends, the Backyardigans," Chase responded. Ryder's eyes grew wide, and a giant grin spread across his face. "Really? Is that actually them?" Ryder said, flabbergasted. "Yes, sir, it is," Chase said. The camera then zoomed over towards the Backyardigans, getting the unwanted clothing off of themselves. "This is the last time I ever ride an elevator," Pablo muttered. "Same here," Tyrone interjected as he pulled off a shirt from his head. "So I see that this is your first time here?" Ryder asked off screen. Pablo, Austin, Uniqua, Tasha, and Tyrone all stopped what they were doing and looked up towards the Pups leader. Hi there," Pablo said timidly. "Hello to you as well," Ryder said as he walked up towards the small animal children. "My name's Ryder, and you all must be Pablo, Tyrone, Uniqua, Tasha, and Austin, am I correct?" Ryder said, pointing to each one of them as he said their names. The Backyardigans all shook their heads in response, showing that he had gotten their names correct. "Well, it's honestly nice to meet you guys. Okay, Pups, today's mission is this. We've got a call from Captain Turbot, and it's urgent," Ryder called out to the Pups. "What's the problem?" Chase asked. "Well, Captain Turbot was supposed to go fishing today. However, when he went out, unfortunately, his boat had started to become torn to shreds due to the due to the waves. Unfortunately, his boat's sinking at the moment. Honestly, parts are all over the place, and I need every pup on deck for this one," Ryder said. All the pups cheered on, and then without a single second missed, Sky decided to say something. Ryder, sir, can our new friends come with us?" "I don't know, Sky. How are they going to get there?" Ryder asked. "I have a basket they can ride in," Sky said. "Well, this is a big mission, and we could really use the help. Hey, Pablo, would you guys be okay giving us a hand with Captain Turbot's boat?" Ryder called out. "I mean, I don't see why not. It's better than doing nothing, I guess," Pablo responded back. All the pups cheered with excitement as they proceeded to grab each Backyardigan with their muzzles, dragging them all back into the elevator. "Oh no, not this crap again," Austin yelled out. "No job is too big, no pup is too small," Ryder called out as he made his way over towards the slide and jumped onto it. After Ryder had jumped into the slide, the usual scene of all the pups going and doing their usual thing of getting into their pup-mobiles played as usual, with the exception of the Backyardigans all being tossed into the mix. Once all that played out, the scene cut to show all the Backyardigans sitting in a large basket with a metal cord tied to a hook on the bottom part of Sky's pup-mobile. "I hope you guys aren't afraid of heights," Sky called out. Pablo was about to say something until all the pups started up their vehicles and began driving down where the lighthouse area was at. When the other pups were shown in this part of the episode, the scene itself mostly focused on Sky and the Backyardigans high up in the air. After a few seconds of the scene going on and the music finally coming to a halt, the scene then cut to the inside of the basket with Pablo gripping on the rope handles for dear life. The others noticed this and started asking him, "Pablo, are you alright?" Austin asked. "No, I'm not alright," Pablo muttered. "You're scared of heights, aren't you?" Uniqua asked. "Yeah, I am," Pablo said, gripping on the ropes as if it was for dear life. "Oh, for goodness sake, Pablo," Tasha began. "We're perfectly safe here in this basket. I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna try and cut that rope anyway. It's made of metal. You're not able to cut it." Just as Tasha had finished her sentence, the scene cut to the outside of the basket area, with the same mechanical bird from earlier in the episode flying rather quickly towards the basket. The lens that were the bird's eyes began to zoom in and out. The scene then cut to Mayor Humdinger twisting his mustache and readying a button to apparently launch something. "Goodbye, Backyardigans," Mayor Humdinger said, laughing evilly. Mayor Humdinger then smashed the button down with his fist, causing the scene to cut right back into the scene with the bird. The bird then chirped and then shot a laser at the rope with its eyes, which caused the rope, the metal one, to snap in half. The rest of the uncut rope fell into the basket with the other Backyardigans as the basket itself hovered in mid-air for a few seconds. The scene then cut back to the inside of the basket with all the Backyardigans staring at the snapped metal rope in horror. "Please tell me that's not the rope," Tyrone said, almost on the verge of freaking out. Uniqua pulled out the rope and examined it and then looked up. Sky's Pupmobile/airplane was nowhere in sight. "Oh crap," Pablo muttered. The basket then started to fall out from the sky, with all the Backyardigans screaming as it plummeted down to a giant forested area with the river not too far away where the basket was falling. The screen then split in half, showing the falling basket on one side and Mayor Humdinger laughing evilly on the other. Then the scene froze before a to-be-continued sign popped up on the right side of the screen. The episode then ended with the usual credits. I honestly was not expecting this to really be a two-parter. I mean, originally the two-parter that we were having was Robot Rampage, but then again though, maybe we kind of wanted to switch things up, maybe? I don't know, but I do know one thing for a full-on fact. That got me off guard real quickly. I really can't wait to see part 2 of this. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to finish part 2 of it, but if anything, it shouldn't take too long. And as I've said before, keep on supporting us and supporting what we do, and stay tuned for the next updated Pups Say the Backyardigans Part 2. Keep on giving us the support. Thank you guys again for everything that you guys have done, and honestly, there's nothing else more I can say, but thank you. Truly, truly, thank you for everything. And thank you again for being extremely patient with us as well.
Have a snack. Meet you next time when we're back with your friends, the Backyardigans.
Hello there, my little shadows. It's me again, your master, the Shadow Reader. I hope you all enjoyed this little tale of horror. I honestly hope I didn't traumatize you too much after this. If you're new here and want to become one of my little shadows, then hit that subscribe button down below, and also make sure to turn on post notifications so that you can be the first to watch my brand new content when it comes out. Until then, sweet dreams, my little shadows.